Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Brews with Brian, a craft beer review podcast. Craft beer is beer that is brewed in smaller breweries, not these big corporate machine breweries that we all know about. I got into craft beer 2 or 3 years ago, and I haven't looked back, and I'm very thankful for it. These people put time and patience, and they care about the product that they deliver to us, the consumer. And I couldn't be more thankful to them. But on today's episode, I am reviewing Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, Screamin' Cock American Pale Ale, and Leppard Pale Ale. So it's a pale ale show. I want to tell everybody to make sure they check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for Brews with Brian. And check out the YouTube page if that's how you want to listen to the show. Make sure you subscribe and give us 5 stars on iTunes and Google Podcasts, and we'll kick this show off. Alright, the first beer on today's episode is Sierra Nevada Pale Ale from Sierra Nevada Brewing Company out of Chico, California. The ABV is 5.6%, and it's available year-round, so you can find this all the time. The description from the website says, our most popular beer, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, is a delightful interpretation of a classic style. It has a deep amber color and an exceptionally full-bodied complex character. Generous amounts of premium Cascade hops give this pale ale its fragrant bouquet and spicy flavor. This beer is one of the reasons that I fell in love with craft beer. It's one of my first ones that I ever had. It and Monkey Knot from Straight to Ale are the reasons why I love craft beer. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale pours a bright copper color, nearly crystal clear, no haze whatsoever, with about 2 fingers of off-white head. The aroma starts with a hefty base of caramel malt, slightly sweet, toasty, crisp, and warm. Among the malt, you get a generous dose of Cascade hops with aromas of grapefruit, lemon, pine, and pear. There is a green element to the aroma that makes me think of like a forest, very floral. Taking a sip of this beer, you get the caramel malt up front, semi-sweet and crisp. The hops cut in rather late, bringing mostly pine, spring florals, and citrus character. A general bitterness shows up in the finish of this beer, and the profile becomes drier and balances this beer perfectly. This beer is a classic. It's an old-school West Coast staple. I have most likely consumed gallons of this beer by now, and for good reason. This is a stellar beer. It's no frills, easy drinking, that does not demand your attention with complexity, while never being boring. This is one of the greatest pale ales on the market. You have to go find it. It's available everywhere. You can get it. You need to. I promise you will not regret it. Overall, I am giving Sierra Nevada Pale Ale 5 stars. Next up on the episode, we have Screamin' Cock American Pale Ale from Blackberry Farm Brewing out of Wallen, Tennessee. Screamin' Cock has an ABV of 6%, and I couldn't find the availability. I'm almost positive they don't make this anymore, and you'll find out it's for good reason. The description from the website says nothing. I couldn't find anything on this except for, that it's a pale ale brewed with Summit, Simcoe, and Amarillo hops. But when you pour this beer, it's a golden, light, hazed body with about an inch of fairly sustainable white head. The aroma is of citrus scents of tangerine, grapefruit, with an edge of white pith and some herbal tones atop the modestly malt touches of toasted barley with an ultra-light hint of sweet candy at the end. This beer tastes like loaf bread, toasted grain with a faint sweetness at the end. It's citric with moderate hop bitterness. The bitterness actually lunges past the finish line with some lingering acidity sitting on the top of your tongue after you're through drinking this beer. Overall, this is one of the worst beers I've ever had. I stumbled upon it at a shop in Nashville when I was up there spending a weekend, and I regretted it. One of the worst beers I've ever had. Again, nothing special about this one at all. Pass on it. Don't even try to find it. Again, I'm hoping they've stopped making it. But overall, I'm giving Screaming Cock American Pale Ale 1 star. And our last beer on today's show is Leppard Pale Ale from Elysian Brewing Company out of Seattle, Washington. Leppard Pale Ale has an ABV of 6% and a limited availability. The description from the website says, the best of British beer is the malt body and that beautiful malt balance. And the best thing about American beer is the citrus piney hops. So we've taken those two aspects, put them together, and come up with a beer you can actually drink a few of. At 6% ABV, you can drink all night long. This beer pours slightly hazy with a deep golden amber color with about 2 fingers worth of head. It has a very, very nice appearance. It looks fantastic. And then you get the aroma of tangerine, lemon, grapefruit, apricot, and citrus peel. Nice and pleasant aromas with good balance and complexity of citrus, fruity hops, and bready malt. And then you taste this beer and you get big tangerine, lemon, grapefruit, and citrus peel flavors with light caramel and an herbal floral finish. This beer has great complexity, robustness, and balance of citrus hops and bready malts. Lightly increasing dryness from the lingering bitterness. This thing is delicious. It is a great American-style pale ale and an all-around nice beer. It's very refreshing to drink with a mild, bitter finish. Overall, I'm going to give Leppard Pale Ale from Elysian Brewing 3 stars. And that's all for this episode of Brews with Brian. On today's episode, I reviewed Sierra Nevada Pale Ale from Sierra Nevada Brewing, Screaming Cock American Pale Ale from Blackberry Farm Brewing, and Leppard Pale Ale from Elysian Brewing. I want to thank everybody for listening. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search for Brews with Brian. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give us 5-star review on iTunes or Google Podcasts. And we'll see you next time.